So Ramona Tufaro is the senior consultant for digital first selling system. She's also the lead trainer for the LinkedIn lead machine. She has a background that covers more than 11 years of managerial experience and a thorough background in sales, marketing, and business advice. Also, after being a successful executive in marketing and sales in the Italian and international corporate world, working with global brands like Edel, Green Life, or BAT, or Stefanel, Benetton, Continental, Google, wow, how many, ICUNet, and many entrepreneurs in Europe and the USA, Ramona discovered that the real distinction in building successful businesses resides in the landscape of marketing and sales, and that the biggest innovation really is in marketing and the changing dynamics between marketing and sales. Coming from that experience, since 2015, she has been studying trends, which resulted in a far deeper understanding of the concept and impact of trends, as well as the ability to predict where the market is going. Following this trend, in 2019, Ramona founded the LinkedIn Lead Machine, and she created the Digital First Selling in 10-step program, which makes use of an exclusive proprietary methodology, which is called the Invisible Funnel 2.0, and provides a solution for your sales reps to build your pipeline, create more sales conversions, and improve your win rates. Having said that, Ramona, the floor is yours. Looking forward to hear the new information you will share.
Elena, thank you very much. Welcome everybody to this presentation. I'm impressed with the words that you used to introduce me, Elena. Thank you so much. And of course, I appreciate the invitation of the Chamber to be a key speaker, especially on such an interesting topic, B2B prospecting and lead generation in the new reality. Be prepared to participate to an interactive conversation. Of course, I prepared, I did my homework and I prepared my part, but I will also ask you to interact with me on some important aspects. And I also prepared a block for Q&A toward the end. My presentation will be short, will be hopefully interactive with you, and the Q&A will be toward the end. So if you have questions, please just write them on the side, or please remember them for when we will have the Q&A block. I want to share my purpose because I think that is important. It is to empower businesses to become future-proof through digital marketing practices, virtual sales tactics, and technology. And if you are not yet on my network, please connect with me via LinkedIn. I think Elena will share a link with you in the chat box. Well, it's funny, the new reality, right? Suddenly it feels like it's 2030 and things look good. It feels like more than a decade has been compressed into the last 2 years, isn't it? Rising trends have accelerated to become what feels like the norm. And new ways of doing things have burst into the open. Marketing, business, brands have been turned upside down. The way we do things have changed, and we're now experiencing this new reality. There's an old adage about how a frog will sit in a pot of gradually heating water until it boils alive. But if you put it into a pot of boiling water, it would jump straight out, isn't it? We are like the frog. We don't notice an incremental change, but when things happen quickly, it's hard to ignore. And things have changed so fast that much of what has happened is hard to ignore, such as the contrast between then and now. There are some of the changes that were either coming our way or have shown up from nowhere. But what ties them together is that they've had a profound yet positive impact on how business works and customer attitudes, and hopefully will continue to do so. I see it as a positive change. So I'm curious, and here's the first interactive moment. What is your definition of the new reality? And I prepared a Mentimeter to play with you. It will be a funny game. I will ask you to vote with the link that Elena will share. You can click on it and you can add up to 3 words to define your new reality. And Elena will share on the screen a slide with a combination of these words. It's always funny when I do these interactive moments with participants at the event. Possible answers that I received in other presentations were online, computer, phone, internet, these virtual connections, right? And social media and remote work and buying online. So I'm curious to see what will be your answer. So go ahead and input your words. I'm going to do it as well, Elena. I will input my own words because I'm curious on what will show up.
Mm-hmm.
If I think of every day, well, there are a few things that stand out, right? Please remember to refresh a few times so every answer is recorded.
Okay.
Wow. Social media, hybrid, customer touch points, remote, online, YouTube, increased dynamic, LinkedIn, network. Quite interesting, right? To see how diverse is the perspective of each one of us on the new reality. There's something that I notice here. Much of this is about digital, isn't it? What do you think? What could be like a common theme here? I see much of the digital reality, the digital reality. And I would like to share my opinion with you, and of course, also share with you how to future-proof your business for this new reality. And of course, I will touch on the digital part of it. As a matter of fact, we are in a digital environment right now. So it seems like in today's times, we all trust digital services, right? Growth in the trust of digital services has been created by necessity. The most important services, such as medicine, have been forced into digital. And if you've learned to trust a doctor online, or even an event online, a presenter online, you might find it easier to trust a retailer, a real estate agent, or a bank. At a basic, substantial level, the need to buy groceries has pushed people who have never shopped online into fully embracing it. So we all live more digital today. So B2B prospecting and lead generation in the new reality is B2B prospecting and lead generation, and how we prepare our businesses for the digital. Businesses that didn't have an online presence have scrambled to build one, accelerating the digital's dominance. But the move to this new reality was not born out of the necessity of COVID-19 only. It seems like it's just a COVID, it's just a pandemic that pushed us into the digital reality. It's been in process for several years. The forced move to a digital-only economy moved plans into action more quickly. And after 2 years into this reality, social media, technological advancement, remote work, hybrid business, entrepreneurs, companies, top executives, and teams have simply adjusted. In-person business proceedings are being reintroduced into the mix, but the digital genie is out of the bottle. It's here to stay. In fact, and I want to give you a research here, and Elena, you can show me the audience at this point, because I would like to interact also visually. Roughly 80% of decision makers, and this is a research by Gartner, an authority. 80% of B2B decision makers prefer digital self-service or remote human interactions. Further, millennials now make up the majority of the B2B decision makers and buyers, and are very comfortable with the digital self-service sales process. In fact, the reliance on digital and the expectations around the digital experience will only keep growing. Do you agree with me that this is the future? The future
Yes.
will be more and more digital, indeed. As a result, organizations need to keep evolving how they enable teams for digital marketing and digital selling and coordinate those efforts with the reintroduction of online activities to meet the need of digital savvy customers. We have to adapt. So the question is, what is needed to equip your business for B2B prospecting and lead generation in this new reality? And I want to, pick your brain again and discover what's your perspective on what is needed to prepare your business for this digital reality, for B2B prospecting and lead generation in the digital reality. Maybe there are things that you've done already, you've implemented already, or things that you will do after this presentation. Maybe you will evaluate other aspects that I bring into the picture. So Elena will share again another voting link. We love Mentimeter and to use it for these conversations. And she will also show the answers page. This is an open answer. It's you can input the words that you want or description. Possible answers that I receive in other presentations: building social media presence, investing in digital tools, creating personalized experiences for customers, meeting customers where they are. There is this understanding that we need now to approach customers on social media because they spend a lot of time there. Maybe also differentiate the marketing approach. So there are possible answers here. And again, I would like to just play a little bit with you and pick your brain on this aspect. Access to the latest technologies, social media, smart online presence. Oh, I like the definition of smart online presence. That's quite clever. Social media. It seems like social media it's all over. Understanding digital lead generation and how to use LinkedIn. The knowledge on how to use social media, especially LinkedIn. Oh, that's quite interesting. I'm pleased that you highlight social media and LinkedIn. There are a few other aspects that I will discuss with you here. I will just give it another 30 seconds with Elena to refresh and see more answers. Social media, it's quite interesting. Thank you very much for participating. I bet you have other answers. And I also hope to bring into the picture more ideas on how to prepare your business for B2B prospecting and lead generation. And here are my suggestions. Okay, I have 4 suggestions. I will be very brief in giving these suggestions and explaining a little bit, and then I will stop for the Q&A, right? So we start a dialogue. My first suggestion, especially in today's landscape, is to supplement digital first tools for a personalized experience. Today's B2B buyers like to educate themselves as at their own pace, as they are online, right? And they do it at their own pace, the English, consuming content online from different sources. Organizations should invest in good content marketing, creating the ebooks, podcasts, videos, webinars, and white papers that meet their buyers' needs to educate and evaluate solutions to their problems. So when you think of digital first tools for a personalized experience, you should think of tools that allow you to create content. Some of this content should be ungated and easily accessible, like customer case studies, testimonials, and blogs. You should give them for free. And you should make it as easy as possible for your ideal target to access this content. Other types of content that support deeper evaluation can be gated in order to capture a lead's contact information, name, email, and phone number, which can drive more personalized one-on-one engagement. Yeah. So don't invest only in ads to bring people to your website and then give access to gated content on your website, because you will lose up to 82% of the potential leads. Give a lot of content for free online and create this content for each level of the sales funnel. The good news is that many organizations do have these things in place. The bad news is that it's easy to fall behind on sales follow-up. And hear me out. In fact, a recent research, and this research was done by Conversica, found that 65% of companies, the companies studied for this research, only reach out to potential leads from 0 to 2 times to try to engage. Yeah. When we know that on average it takes at least 7, but as many as 15 times to try to connect. Sales teams or sales reps don't have the time or the patience to begin this process and keep it up. And what they do, they cherry pick which opportunities seem ripe. So I reached out a couple of times. I did not receive an answer. I'm just jumping on the next prospect, the next lead. So here's the important part of this process and how you can introduce a solution. Conversational AI, artificial intelligence, gives organizations the ability to personalize communications at scale. The solution may be more approachable than you think. And even before I go into details, I want to ask you, do you guys know about conversational AI? Is this a term that you heard or evaluated for your business? Yes or a no into the chat box will help me understand where we stand with the audience. And while the all right, yes, no, yes, I'd appreciate if you please type your answer into the chat box. Are you familiar with conversational AI solutions for B2B prospecting and sales? All right. Conversational AI solutions designed for revenue teams like marketing, sales, and customer success are filling the gap effectively. Conversational AI incorporates natural language processing, like the neuro-linguistic programming, and machine learning technologies to engage in human-like two-way conversations, giving organizations the ability to personalize communications at scale. When preparing for this presentation, I checked almost each website for each one of you. Yeah. And I did not find a solution to engage immediately. Yeah. In real time. So because of that, I could not leave my data and I could not start the sales prospecting and lead generation process. For example, a lot of organizations are investing in webinars and virtual events to educate the market about their offerings. Many of our clients did the same. We are in a virtual webinar in this specific moment. And while gathering a high number of attendees is great, it's not an end in itself. What's critical is that those attendees do something after the webinar. The easiest way to accomplish this is also the most difficult to scale. Simply asking the leads, are you interested in talking to a salesperson who can answer your questions and provide more information? It is very difficult to scale, but also it's maybe not the right time. So engaging with conversational AI, an audience of a webinar, personalizing the conversation with neurolinguistic programming and other tactics could be a good idea. Another worthy investment is providing use cases, both pre and post sales. Organizations using these tactics see a tremendous uptick in customer engagement metrics. Conversational AI can automate this personalized sales outreach so organizations can touch every lead generated, discover opportunities, and pass the hot leads to a salesperson. So my first recommendation is this one. The second one is make the right connection at the right time. And I want to go back to that numbers that I shared previously. Knowing when and whether a buyer is ready to personally engage with sales is the hard part. It's either too early or too late. Sales teams struggle driving persistent outreach to find those hand raisers ready to engage in a conversation. When buyers do raise their hand, 83% expect to be contacted immediately, like in real time. However, through our research, we found that 55% of companies took 9 hours or even longer to respond to an inquiry. And please think of you or your sales rep, right? They receive an inquiry, perhaps via email, and they answer tomorrow. Or they answer this afternoon when I have time for my emails, right? By determining whether a lead is interested in scheduling a meeting with a salesperson, an intelligent virtual assistant, a IVA, powered by conversational AI. So the combination of the two can accelerate the pipeline by elevating hand raisers or autonomously fostering warm leads until they are hot. Is anyone in the audience that has already implemented a combination like this one? I want to know, and if possible, please input your answer into the chat box. No, okay. So it is essential to find a balance in today's B2B prospecting and lead generation between impersonal but scalable communications and personal but time-consuming one-on-ones. And your sales reps should go to sales conversations only with hot leads, with conversation-ready leads. Yeah, but how do you assess that? It's through these new tools that can be introduced on the buyer journey. An intelligent interaction with a virtual assistant, an intelligent virtual assistant, right, in combination with the conversational AI, can take the form of a website chat, following up via email to pre-qualify the lead and determine interest in speaking to a salesperson, or speaking via text to an existing customer about a renewal or upgrade opportunity. So that's an ideal combination for the B2B prospecting and lead generation. It is essential to find this balance between impersonal but scalable communications and personal but time-consuming one-on-ones. After all, and here's the important things, customers want a digital-first experience just for convenience, but not necessarily a digital-only experience. Okay, so if we manage to interact digitally with our audience and provide value upfront, help them to self-educate themselves at their own pace, and then we interact with them in real time, we pre-qualify the leads and we pass them to sales when they are already showing up an interest, and when we actually solved part of the buyer journey. My third recommendation, and please, if you have questions, just put them on the side for another 5 minutes, and then we'll move into the Q&A block. My third suggestion will be to implement a multiple channels approach. Businesses need to communicate with customers on their terms across multiple channels. Chatbots are a great start, giving customers something to interact with when they land to your website. So that's a very important suggestion. If you don't have yet a chatbot, please do add that. It can also be a valuable tool for capturing contact information beyond the use of traditional lead forms. But interaction shouldn't stop there. Email is still the primary place B2B buyers anticipate follow-up and where consumers prefer to get their information. Additionally, AVIs can help with SMS text messaging or social selling through platforms like LinkedIn. Right, in the open answers, we've seen social media, LinkedIn, right? So it's a combination of channels that really creates the floor, set the stage for today's B2B prospecting and lead generation.